machine there.
Right? Out of the way! Nobody here thought you'd survive that fight out under.
Ancestor, you've returned. Did you? How did he die?
The tower was a sunwing nest.
Chris.
It had a map that can help your people get the lay of the land without risking more scouts. All of us sharing it with Bohai right now. It's a good thing your brother protected it.
I'd trade all the data in the legacy to have my little brother back. But I'm glad that something meaningful came from his death. As promised, you now have access to my weapon stock. If you bring me the right resources, I can make you anything you see there. Actually, why don't you give this a try? One of our best. And if it's of use, you know where to find more.
Thank you. I'm really sorry for your loss.
I know you are. I'm grateful.
If we're going to go around trying to protect life.
Strange. Aloy, well met. We've been briefed on our mission, and are ready whenever you wish to head to Cauldron Gemini.
How are your studies going?
I wanted to learn.
And?
I looked up this pharaoh, Gaia said, and learned about the plague of Mashit. To think that the ancient world was wiped out. There is no glory or honor in such a fate.
That about sums it up. Have you spoke?
The Quen is peculiar. Her mind is sharp. That much is certain.
Trust me.
I will take your...
I have to go now.
Then do not...
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
I could barely keep up as Varl gave her a new focus. Though when he told her she was free to access all the data we had here, we showed her to the archive room so she could see.
Sounds like Alva. Read anything interesting lately?
I found out the old ones used leaf, and apparently it helps that and some sort of scented wax they use. Me, I think I'll stick to singing to calm.
How are things with
Slightly quieter. Apparently the old ones called it metal versus meat. You'd think we have enough of that going.
I assume you've been looking into Demeter now that Gaia's merged?
Yes. To know that the seeds I carry in this pouch came in turn from the seeds, it gives me hope that the cycle of life will prevail now.
About the land.
3 of them wandered off from planes. Doe ventured into a danger. I was hoping you could go to... I sent their...
Need to get going.
Right. That means we'll be going after Hafez.
The old ones created so many wonderful inventions to help others. Nice to kill everyone. You're just a ray of sunshine, aren't you? Only for you.
So much! I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestor. A true reincarnation of an ancestor. Genetically speaking, of course, not like the, late CO. And there's more ancestors out there. Returned from beyond the stars. Of course, they're trying to kill us, which is not great. And Eric Visser is with them, which is disturbing. And then there's Hephaestus, and...
Okay. How about we take it one step at a time?
You're right. I also owe you an explanation for everything that happened at Landfall.
You mentioned Eric Visser?
The Zenith who tried to kill... He is known as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to breakthroughs related to weapons and military knowledge our conquer. That's why he's one of our most... But, based on your... It appears he's even more ruthless. Yet another distorted interpretation.
Well, at least your piece...
If only the Overseer...
Beta mentioned other Zeniths. Tilda, Verbena, and Gerard.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about them. Whatever legacy they left behind, the Diviners haven't recovered.
You mentioned the reason...
Her name is Alika. When I passed the divinity, Alika begged me not to leave.
Why?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not even your family. Unless you can get...
Sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep. Well, fearful. Last time I was allowed to see... Because of my position, or soon they'll...
I promise I'll do... The ancestors.
Yes and no. The ancestors are the great... Those whose legacy taught us agriculture, medicine, warfare, leadership, and patronage of the science and arts.
The CO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant. What's that about?
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensively under one of the ancestors is called an assistant. That's how we thought of Sobek. Until we met you. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s is obviously our view of the past.
You said you owed me an explanation for what happened in Thebes. I'm listening.
Right. I'll start at the beginning with the CO. He was an Imperial, the Emperor's nephew, in fact. As such, sponsored many diviners to search the legacy for anything that might end himself. He took a special interest in anything related to Ted Faro, who...
Ted Faro, revered ancestor. That's tough to take.
I know better now, of course. Anyway, the diviners discovered that Faro spent a great deal of time in San Francisco. In fact, many of the most important ancestors did. So the Emperor's nephew convinced him that an expedition across the ocean might solve our most pressing problems. If only we could find the right data in this fabled city. Perhaps we could roll back the flood that threatened our people. The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resources be poured into this endeavor. Dozens of ships were built, scouting missions were dispatched, and the Emperor's nephew was named Sio, one who wields the legacy for the good of the Empire. The living embodiment of Ted Faro, a renewer. It may seem strange now, but for a time, he carried all of our hopes. We really believed he would save us. We had no idea just how perilous the journey would be.
Back at the greenhouse,
Diviners are meant to see, and many Imperials sponsor that use. Thus, but the Board of Overseers claims certain truths are like discovering one of our revered ancestors. That is why diviners are only allowed to act. Only overseers can view it all. It ensures that any heretical data...
What happened?
I never had the courage.
You said the expedition...
We lost most of our... and scores of soldiers perished to hunger. And that was before we... Once we landed, machines ripped our patrols up and we struggled to replenish. There were bright spots, to be sure. But nothing improved the CEO's mood as he became more and more obsessed and more... The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the legacy. I can see that now. But what the CEO became was a complete perversion of what principled diviners stand for. The pursuit of truth. I'm sorry you had to endure his over. For everyone.
So, Bohai, your overseer. Will he run things better than CEO?
He won't execute people on a whim, if that's what you mean. But he's hardly a paragon of integrity. I can't tell you how many times he took credit for data in the legacy that I uncovered. The best thing I can say about him, to always do what's best for him.
Yep, sounds about right. I see you've been using your new focus.
It's been fascinating. So much better than the version the Quen have. What would have taken me years to sort through, like the database you helped me recover, with this, I've been able to establish search parameters to speed up the process. This could analyze the legacy. That is, whatever part of it the Overseers would actually let us study.
I imagine you don't know any...
It's funny, because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person at all. I mean, you are, as in, you're both genetically Elizabeth Sobek. You're different.
Yeah, we are. I hope everyone's been treating you okay.
Focuses with each other freely. It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission from the Overseers.
Sounds restrictive and stifling.
Yeah, you are not wrong. A diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised and knowing you, I suspect there is much that would normally be... But I was sent here to help you. I would be... Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way back to the path of truth.
From the look on your face...
I got Omega clearance.
As soon as you give...
I see all of us settled in...
Our new Quen friend?
Yeah, that's Alva for you. Been running?
The seeds have been... What?
I'm glad you and Zoe found each other.
Don't forget.
Now that I have Omega clearance, we can...
Can't wait to see their faces as they stared...
Better them than us. It's,
Yeah, it says a home should always...
Well, I should go get this to Gaia.
Of course.
There she is. Heard you had an interesting time at Thebes.
Maniacs, lava, what's not to like?
I'll remember that next time I go traveling.
At least I got what we needed to trap Hephaestus.
Good thing I got my gear ready then.
You look tired.
Ha! You're never... I've just been making sure that I got everything. I wouldn't want to be the usual
You'll do fine, Aaron. Have you spoken with Alva yet?
Yeah, when she's not reading the archives like a giddy kid drinking...
I should get...
As soon as you want us heading out to those...
I'll give you the heads up.
Pizza?
Welcome back. Aloy, I know your experience in Thebes was unsettling, but we have a new problem.
Did something go wrong with Beta and the rig? Will we be able to transport you to Gemini?
The rig is complete. The problem is Hephaestus itself. It has accelerated its proliferation throughout the Cauldron network, increasing its power.
But with your sub-functions restored, we can still succeed, right?
Correct. Fact is that absorbing Hephaestus will take longer than previously calculated.
How long?
Even with Omega clearance, my current estimate is that the merge will take 35 hours.
And each hour increases the risk of detection by the Zeniths. Two cores. Two overrides. What if the merge were carried out by two clones of Elizabeth Sobek, both armed with Omega clearance? How long then? Half the time?
Hephaestus would be unprepared for the simultaneous labor of two operators, in addition to obvious synergetic efficiencies. Calculating. It would reduce the merge time to approximately 4.5 hours.
Okay. Varl, it looks like we're gonna need Beta at Gemini. Do you think you can convince her?
I'll try.
What about our diversion? Are the pulse generators ready?
Only a final test remains. I am confident that if fired in proximity to other cauldrons, the pulses will mask our activities at Gemini from the Zeniths.
Good. As long as Aaron can operate one without shooting himself in the face.
Aloy, you better get down here. Beta's in bad shape.
Okay. There. Let's see what we got.
Aloy. I tried, but it's impossible. I don't think anything will convince her to go.
We don't have a choice.
Good luck.
Beta, you have to come with us. It's the only way. It's one mission. The most important one. We need you. tell me why you won't go. What if they take me back? Alone, in a cell again, a slave. Forever. Varl and I will be at Gemini too. I'll protect you. As soon as we get Hephaestus, we'll come straight back here. The Zeniths aren't going to find us. You don't have to be afraid. No! You can't protect me. Nothing can protect me from them. I told you from the beginning we'll never beat them. It's hopeless. Beta. Leave me alone! You don't understand! You're right. I don't understand. The same mind, the same heart. So why can't you find the strength to do what has to be done? Like Elizabeth would. Don't you think I've thought about that? I don't know what piece of Elizabeth I'm missing. I don't know what you have that I don't. I look through all the data from your focus. You were raised as an outcast, shunned, and isolated just like me, so what's the difference? What's my defect? Beta. Look, it's not a piece of Elizabeth. The difference is, I had him. Frost. He raised you, trained you, but he was never warm or loving. The day he died, the day he gave you that charm, he was going to abandon you. He wanted me to embrace the tribe.